Welcome, 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 welcome. If you're here, you're supposed to be here. No accident that you're here. It is not by happenstance, but you were predestined to be here this evening to hear what we have to say tonight on this show. You've been chosen, called out, picked, to be able to hear what we have to bring to you. We had a really good time last week. We talked about the power of the pause, you know, taking a pause for the cause. And tonight, we're not going to do this in the streets because Miss Stephanie is not with us today. But I'm going to do an overview a little bit about what we talked about with the power of the pause. Man, but before I get into that, I'm just thankful. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. My heart is full of gratitude to have this opportunity to be able to spend with you, to, you know, everything that's happening in my life, you know, um, staying in a constant state of gratitude is one thing that I like to be. Is the place that I like to be. I like to be in a constant state of gratitude. And when you're in a constant state of gratitude, all kind of good things happen for you in your life. Lost a really good friend um, on the 19th of September, Mr. Glenn McKinney, pastor, but he was much more than just a pastor. He was an incredible human being, outstanding father and husband, friend and brother, and we're going to miss him dearly. And we went to his services, and the first night, the Thursday night was like the wake, which, well, it was so crowded I couldn't even get in. That's how crowded it was. It was over at the church over at St. Stephen's, and they had the actual service uh, at this other uh, church, which could, accommodate a lot of people. It must have been at least 1,000 people, man. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. The legacy that this young man, and I say young man because he was only 55, the legacy that he left, and the impression and the impact that he made on the lives of a lot of people, man, just absolutely incredible. And I know he made an impact on my life too. And we're gonna miss him dearly. And we're gonna keep his family and close relatives and friends. We're gonna keep them in our prayers and thoughts, that they recover over the loss. I don't know if you can call it recover, but that the pain of the loss of a loved one diminishes, and it will in time. So it's a day by day thing, sometimes a moment by moment. I think about him all the time. So, we just want this to be something that we can move on through life and not feel the hurt that goes along with it. I understand it. It's a part of life, and it's something that if you're here, we're gonna lose somebody we love. It's just that simple. So We just, we pray for his family and friends, and that everybody will get through this, and we will. We'll get through it. So, last week we talked about the power of the pause, taking a pause for the cause. And sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is pause, not quit, not react, not rush, just pause. A pause gives your spirit time to breathe. It creates clarity when your mind feels cloudy. It stops you from saying things in the heat of emotion you can't take back. It reminds you that peace doesn't come from control, it comes from centering. When we pause, we reconnect to the present moment, to our breath, to our truth, and to that quiet voice within that always knows what's next or knows what's to do next. A pause can restore your balance, deepen your awareness, and allow divine guidance to flow in. It teaches us that slowing down isn't weakness, it's wisdom. So today, when life feels heavy or uncertain, take a pause. Let it steady you. Let it remind you of your power. Because sometimes the pause is the path forward. Just breathe, recenter, and rise again. We talked about that pause last week and how powerful it is to stop, take a moment, breathe before you react. Because that reaction might not be, a response is much better than a reaction. You know, it just is. Because you can think, you can calculate, you can come up with the right reasons instead of being unreasonable. That's what a pause does for you. Tonight, I want to talk since, D'Angelo, the musician, he passed away also. He died from pancreatic cancer. I saw that on the internet. So rest in peace for D'Angelo. Great artist. He left a legacy. If you notice that on every headstone and every obituary, there's a date when you were born and a dash and a date when you leave. In between those two dates is a dash. The dash is the legacy that you leave. The dash is the impact that you make on the lives of the people while you were alive? What type of legacy do you want to leave? What type of impact do you want to leave or make on the people that are in your life today? I talk a lot about walking in your purpose, knowing the reasons why you're here, the things that lets you know why you're alive. What is it that I'm to do while I'm here? And the only way that you can find out that purpose is you have to really know who you are. And when you discover who you discover who you are by finding your gifts and your talents, the things that you're good at, the things that you know that you're good at, and developing those gifts in such a way to where you can apply them to doing things that enhance other people's lives. That when you do that, it's so fulfilling when you're able to do what you do naturally. It's natural. It's something that you were born with. It's something that you were gifted with. And everybody, I don't care who you are, has a gift or gifts that you can use to enhance somebody's life with. And one of the most wonderful feelings in the world is when you can do something that you know that you do well. And someone says, you know what? You really touched my life. You really, did a wonderful job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not for the money, not even for the accolades, but it does make you feel good when you know that you've done something, you put in the work to develop this gift. And you have to develop the gift. You have to do things that stretch the gift, exercise the gift, constantly working, outside of your comfort zone with the gift in order to make it better, make it more profound. Because you know that it's a gift because it is so profound. It is so spectacular. It is something that you know that was given to you to enhance other people's lives. That's why you do what you love. And it's not something that outside of what you don't love to do. It's something that you love to do. And a lot of times, people quite often they look for the approval of the wrong for the of people instead of the approval of yourself. And I'm not saying that you can't get somebody to tell you that was great, that was excellent, or you could have did this. There, Some people, they give you criticism, and it's corrective criticism. And that corrective criticism is through love. Some people, not all people. But you know the difference between, you know, corrective criticism through love and criticism just to try to tear you down because you can feel it. Because they're going to come at you in a way to where you know that it's through love and compassion. But at the same time, you know, that's why it's important to spend time in meditation, to spend time learning more about who you are at the very level of your being. Because that's where you hone your skills, your gift. That's where you sharpen your tools, your gift. And so you take this gift and you use it. And pretty soon you find out that that one gift through, you don't have, you know, and I know there some people are, they have more than one gift. They have several gifts. Pick one. Take that, and because you know you can spend a lot of time trying to do this one and that one and the other one. Pick one or two that you're good at and work those gifts or that gift. And you'll see that as you hone that gift, other things will open up for the other gifts. You know, other opportunities will open up for you on the other gifts, right? I'm talking about the gifts. I'm talking about what you were gifted to do. And you use it, you can use it to make money, but that shouldn't be your main objective. Your main objective is, would you do it if you didn't get no money? You have to love it so much that you would do it regardless. Because the doors are open up for you. The money gonna come. The opportunities for, you know, that will come. But where's your heart really? Where's your heart? And so you use the gift to touch people's lives, to enhance people's lives, to encourage people so that they can become better, or so that you can make their life more, you know, complete, you know. And you just find a way to be a blessing in other people's lives as you walk, as you move, as you go throughout life. You got to find ways to, you know, just open yourself up to the world and allow your heart to touch other people's heart, and just move through this world with compassion, with, you know, the attitude of gratitude. And you'd be amazed, man, at the things that, you know, that happen for you when you have that type of mindset. It's a mindset, and it's not pretentious. It's not fake. You know, because you're being authentically who you really are at the very level of your being. You know, that's one of the most powerful ways that you can move about in this on this planet, is being authentically who you are. Authentically who you are. Not like somebody else. You don't have to be like nobody else but yourself. And move in love and compassion. I know a lot of things are happening in this world today. I know a lot of things are taking place right now that makes it difficult to be open, to be compassionate, because there are a lot of things that are happening in the old earth. But you have to rise above of what's happening in the old earth and rise above in the frequency of that fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh dimension of love, compassion, kindness, beauty, receptivity, abundance. And you'll find yourself looking at all of these things that are happening in the world today like watching a movie, because you won't be a part of that. And everything in your world will be peace, and you'll be at peace. I remember, man, and one of the biggest things for me is I want to leave a legacy behind. That's one of the best things that you can do. Everybody leaves a legacy, but what type of legacy you leave behind is the whole story. They call it a legacy when it's good, you know, and I don't know what they call it when it's, when you live a life that really didn't enhance people's lives, and you took everything that you got and you stepped on people to, get where you were. you know I don't know, how that works, but you know I want to leave a legacy that, and when when my boy passed away, I said, man, I mean, I was just amazed at his dash. Everything in between those two dates was just, people were talking about him like I would talk about him. Everybody was talking about him just like I would talk about him, the type of individual he was. And you have to ask yourself, when that time comes, and it will for all of us, what will people say about you after you're gone? What type of impact will you make, or will you have made, on the lives of people while you were here? What did you do? You know, one thing I'm learning, what you do in secret behind the closed doors will directly enhance your life openly. And I mean, when you meditate, when you pray, when you know, you do your shadow work, you do things, to improve who you are. You look at yourself squarely in the face and say, this is who I am. And, all of it, of course, you're not going to like, but you're not afraid of it. And You find ways to get in there, dig in, and say, you know what? I'm going to change this aspect of my character. And you do. Incrementally, you change, you know, these things that you're struggling with, the things that nobody knows. You know, the struggles that you have. There are struggles that you have, that I have, that nobody really knows that we struggle, but we still got to fix them. We still got to fix them. For who? For ourselves. For ourselves. And it's not impossible. All it takes is a decision to say, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to change right now. You can change it right then. There may be somebody that did something to you in the past, and it wasn't your fault at all. You didn't ask for this to happen to you. You didn't, deserve this to happen to you, but it did anyway. And you're living in that pain still within inside. The pain, and the anger that you deal with is still there. But you still haven't forgiven that person. You're still angry at that person if they're still alive. And if they're not, you still have to release that individual. You still have to forgive that individual for yourself. It's important that we learn how to forgive and to love unconditionally. Love unconditionally. You know? Well, how do you do that? Well, I'm going to let you be, do, and have what you desire to be, do, and have. That, you know, regardless of, even if it's something that I don't particularly prefer or dislike, but I still get to love you as a human being, as a person that was created in this world to make the decisions that they make, and hopefully you make the best decisions for yourself eventually. But I don't get to judge you because I can't. That's not my place. I can't do that. That's not my place to stand in judgment of anybody. Even if I am so-called appearance doing better than you, that's still not my place to judge. You know, it's no big eyes and little U's. No, 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 no. Once we find out how connected, how interconnected we are, a lot of things will change. The dash. You wake up every morning. You brush your teeth. You wash your face. You comb your hair. You take a shower. You automatically do these things. You know, and subconsciously we do these things. Subconsciously we think certain ways. And It's your subconscious mind that creates your reality, not your conscious mind. It's your subconscious mind. The mind that's on automatic pilot. We have to constantly be keeping check on what we're thinking about and how we're thinking. As a man thinketh, so is he or she. How are you thinking? What are you thinking about? Are you putting yourself in a place of scarcity with your mind? Because every time you say, I don't have this, it ain't enough of that, you put yourself in a mindset of scarcity instead of abundance. That's why it's important. That's why it's so important to think of in ways of gratitude. Because when you think it in ways of gratitude, there is no lack. There's only abundance. I used to do this affirmation. It says, oh boy, I emanate from the source that only knows abundance. I just did that, you know. I used to get on the social media, right? And I would be wired up. I mean, when I say wired, I'd be fired up, man. And I would go, I emanate from the source that only knows abundance. I emanate from the source that only knows abundance. I emanate from the source that only knows abundance. And man, when I go back and look at that video, I would go, wow, you know, but I meant it. I really meant that. And affirmations, that's why affirmations are so powerful. That's why you got to be careful of what you saying, what comes out of your mouth. Because it's a passage in the scripture says, faith come by hearing and hearing by the word, right? Word of God. Faith does come by hearing and hearing by the word, right? It comes by whatever word that comes out of your mouth, okay? Because when you're speaking, your ears hear what's being said and your brain picks up what's being said from your mouth. And it does something to the inside, it affects your body. It affects your mind. Your mind affects your body. When you say certain things, when you think certain ways. And when you're thinking, lack and scarcity instead of abundance, and ways, that you can have, anything there is, you understand that this is an abundant universe and that you have the resources to receive anything that you desire. And this is what I say. Bashir says this too. This is what I learned it from. He says, abundance is more than just money. It's doing what you got to do when you got to do it. Because if you put it down just to just money, you're cutting yourself short. Because it's favor, it's a phone call, it's unexpected money, it's unexpected resources from unexpected people, synchronistically coming into your life and opening up doors for you that you could never even imagine. But it did happen for you right at the right time. That's how this thing works. That's how it works. And so you have to think about what you're thinking about. You have to be careful of what you're saying. You have to think in abundance, not lack. And you can't allow yourself to get in a mode of, you know, dirty thinking, stinking thinking. That's what I like to call it, stinking thinking. That's why you need to write down the affirmation. We had the 369 affirmation thing that method. We had it up last week. I'm gonna put it up next week. I don't know if we have it but there it is. There it is. Be clear about your intention. Thank you. Decide on your affirmation or intention statement. Write your intentions down 3 times in the morning. State your intentions 6 times at midday, and write your intention 9 times at night. That's a good way of doing it also. Thank you. And it works. It'll change your life. It'll change your life completely. But you have to write it down like it's already done and complete. Complete. Already done. And you'll find that it will keep you in a mindset that will separate you from most people. It'll put you in a mindset that will separate you from a lot of people, from people you used to hang around with. You'll find that you'll have no more joy or desire, rather, to hang around those people anymore. Not that they're bad people. It's just that your mindset has changed. Because it's time for you to work on that dash in between the 2 dates. And just because you're young, don't mean that that dash is going to be a long one. It can happen at any time. So there should be some type of urgency for you to start really getting things in order. When I say getting things in order, finding out what your passion is, what you're passionate about, what you're excited about, because that's usually connected to your gift, to your purpose. And just go for it. Go for it like no tomorrow. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about failing. Don't worry about messing up. Just go for it. And that, a lot of times that was my thing. I would always be worried about messing up. But how can you mess up? The only time you can mess up is when you don't do it. That's when you mess up, is when you don't go for it. But as long as you're going for it, some days are different from the others. But just go for it. Move through the discomfort. Go through, it's going to be foreign. It's going to be different. It's not going to be always comfortable. It's not. It's not always comfortable. Because you're stretching yourself. You're expanding. It's called expansion. And as you expand, you grow. And so it's going to be some discomfort there. But keep expanding. Keep the excitement. You know what? What the excitement overrides the discomfort. I'm a witness to that. The excitement overrides the discomfort. Because if you're really excited about something, you ain't worried about it. You know, I remember when I used to get on a roller coaster. I was excited about getting on the roller coaster, right? And when I got on it, I would just ride. It's like a roller coaster ride, you know? And you have fun with it. Did you think you was gonna fall off? I didn't. I just rode with it. And it was an exciting ride. And after I got off, I didn't say I wanted to get back off. I mean, I didn't want to get back on again. I wanted to ride it again because it was exciting. It's something exciting about moving in purpose, on purpose, with purpose. It's just something exciting about it. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What are you excited about? What is it that you love to do? Use your imagination. Use your imagination. It's you allow your mind to open up and expand and explore. It's not too late. You can do it right now. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. Use your imagination and go for it. Don't be afraid. You know, don't be afraid. Just allow yourself to move in the direction that where your heart, you know, come from the heart. And everybody has something that they are purposed to do. Everybody, man. Everybody has something that they're purposed to do. I don't care who you are. You there's a reason that you're here. You know? There's a reason that you're here. Your life is not just a spurt of steam. Your life, just for the very, just for the mere reason that you exist. You exist. And you cannot die. That's we're gonna talk about that, you know, real soon. Because your energy housed in this avatar body, consciousness. That's right. You know, that's why it didn't even seem real, you know, looking at my boy, you know, sitting up, laying up in that casket. It didn't even seem real. And it wasn't. It just seemed so bizarre, you know, because it seemed like I just talked to him not so long ago. And there he was. Well, there his body was. But he made an impact. He made an impact on people's lives. And he did it to the fullest. He didn't hold back. You know? It's like being, you know, it's like being impregnated with a baby. You with your gift. You're not gonna let nobody abort your baby. You're not gonna let nobody kill your baby. You're gonna nurture that baby, you know, and let it grow and you're going to deliver that baby. And then when that baby, as that baby, you're gonna guide it. You're gonna take care of it. That's what you're gonna do. And you can't do it with a lot of stuff going on in your head. You can't do it. Not with a lot of stuff going on in your head. I just, I know that I said this one week. Pretty soon, it's gonna be like everybody's gonna have a podcast, right? I think, in my mind, that's where people are gonna be communicating through podcasts, you know. And I say this: if you start a podcast and just tell what it is that's on your heart, that's one way of starting. Don't worry about having a large crowd of people around you. Just start a podcast and share what you know. You don't have to be anybody else but you. And when you share it, tell your truth. That's all. Tell your truth. I always tell people, like when I first started doing, you know, I know I wasn't always right. I mean, but I was me, and I told what I thought was true or what was right. But I could have been wrong at certain things that I said. And as I look back, there were some things that I could have done different, could have said differently. But so what? That's gone. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, you know, just keep on pushing, man. Keep on moving forward. What's your dash, man? What is your dash? What type of legacy are you going to leave? What type of, you know, what are people going to remember you by? What do you want people to say at your service? I think I'm gonna do a show like that too, and just have people on and ask them what do they want people to say at their service. I want them to say that I was honest and I was authentic, and I tried to help, people when I could. You know, I showed compassion when it was necessary. You know, I loved my children. I love my family. You know, I love my friends. I love my wife. I want, people to remember me in a way that they know that I loved people, I cared about people. And that I tried to share a word of encouragement everywhere I went. And it didn't matter what color they were. It was just to whomever crossed my path, you know. Love is colorblind. Compassion is too. I didn't know it, excuse me. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing how we can get so caught up into what's happening all around us and miss what's right in front of us. Miss right, we miss it, and it's right in front of us. You know. Thank you, Smithy. You know, that's real, and we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue to bring it the same way because we're living in a time where things for a lot of people are getting bad. They getting bad, man. And if you don't come to the new earth and be a part of that, you're gonna stay in the old world. It's just that simple. You got to find a way to shift. Know that you have a plethora of abundance because they saying it ain't enough of this and it ain't enough of that. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's not true. Because you have access to the resources. And you got to know that you have access to the resources. That you have, there's a wave of unstoppable momentum that's upon you. You have absolutely everything you need to become the person you've always dreamt of being. You did the healing. Inner healing is not like a lifelong journey. And with the right dedication, you can heal quickly and step into your higher power. You're no longer held back by the decisions of your past. Forgive yourself and accept this wave of abundant creative energy that is upon you. It's on you. It's on you. It's on you, man. We're gonna rock. This show is gonna be for the chosen ones, the chosen people. Think about your legacy you're gonna live. What is it that you want to leave? What type of impression that you want to leave on people's minds, on people's hearts? You know, heartfelt connections. You know, when I meet people, you know, I I like to connect with them, make a connection, some type of connection. And if you're vibrating at a high frequency, they're either gonna run or they're gonna come to you. One or the other. So you have to keep that in mind. You know, have a, you know, you have to practice this stuff, man. It's just not gonna come by osmosis. You have to wake up in the morning, man, and start off. You know, thank you for this day. Thank you for, you know, today is gonna be a great day. I'm looking forward to everything that's gonna happen for me today. Uh, you know, get up, do your morning walk, you know, or stretch, you know, be thankful that you can do that, you know, take a shower, be thankful that you can take a shower and clean your body, you know, I mean, really, you know, on your way to work, be thankful that you got a job, you know, thankful that you have a car that you can drive. You know, if you don't have a car, thankful you can catch the bus or the train. You know, that you can walk. You know, be thankful. Be grateful. I'm gonna use them cards. Next week, I'm gonna bring my affirmation cards out, and I'm gonna share those with you guys because I haven't done that in a while. But it's you know, and then what happens as you keep your mind in that mindset, something might show up in your life that day that you don't prefer, but use it. Use it. Stop, pause for the cause, and ask yourself, what definition am I going to put to this event that just came up in my life? Pause. Think about it. And then say, what good is it for me? How is this going to work for me for my good? And you'll find it. You'll find it. We have to find a way to where we walk in power. We manifest the things that we desire. Because we manifestors anyway. Why not manifest the things that you desire, the things that you want in your life? You know? Why not manifest the things, thank you, the things that you want in your life, that you desire in your life? Because you do it anyway. Next week, I'm going to use my cards. I'm going to have my cards and I'm going to bring those out and I'm going to share those. And we're just going to, you know, we're just going to go together and we're going to grow together. So what's your dash? What's the dash in between those two dates? You got time now. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Butterfly. I'm gonna have the butterfly say what she gonna say. She ain't gonna come on camera. I'm gonna have the butterfly say what she gonna say and we're gonna get out of here.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I love you guys.
And that's all she gonna say. Take care. Peace and blessings to you all. And always remember, beyond the shadow of the doubt, that me, just me, I truly do love you, my friends. Take care.